Welcome back to We Know Texas Vino, the show where Texas soil meets Texas soul. I'm your host, Will, and today we're headed deep into East Texas to visit a winery that's doing things their own way, literally. It's called Green Goat Winery. From humble roots to handcrafted bottles, today we're uncovering the heart behind the herd and the vines. Let's dig in and let's see what we got. So today we have Rip from Green Goat Winery. Rip, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
It's I've been told multiple times by Ron Martin, who works over at Kiefer Saul, that I need to come visit y'all. And we were just happening down the road to, I'm just going to call it the English term, the Valley of the Peace. Yes, I can't even enunciate. I have a hard time enunciating that part. But y'all are literally right down the road. I said, this is a good time for us to come and visit. So here we are, come to visit. And Rip, thank you for having us here.
Thank y'all for coming.
First, I have to ask, how did you come up with the name Green Goat?
Well, there's the fake story, and then there's the real one. Actually, my daughter was taking a wine appreciation course at Texas A&M.
Okay.
And she called one day, and she said, Dad, we learned today that animals and colors on a label outsell other ones on a store shelf 3-1. And I thought, well, let's look that direction. So, and there's, we were working on a job site. I do irrigation work as well, and the Mexicans boys were up top saying Spanish words that rhymed with gringo, peachy gringo, actually. and anyway, it came about that way. You know, we were looking for something that would stand out.
Okay, well, it definitely stands out. Yeah, it definitely stands out. So, all right, now that we got that out of the way, because I've been curious too. So, what did you do before you did this? Because I mean, you said you did irrigation. So, was that your primary thing, or that's something you just kind of picked up and started doing on the side?
I worked for an ag supply for 25 years out of college, and we quit them about year 2000 and got in the nursery business, tree farm. Container nursery business, and things got pretty rough around, after 2008. The recession hit, tree business went to heck, and it got better, but without getting into politics, which, we agree, don't talk about it or winning. The 2016 election, I figured would be very similar to what we already had, and I didn't want to be in the tree business again.
Right.
And this was a hobby, been a passion for 20-something years, and if you build it, they will come. You just got to make wine good enough they come back.
Right.
That's kind of where it stemmed from. Right. My wife wanted my hobby out of the house.
I know how that is. I can see that.
Yeah.
You definitely got wine to come back.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for quite some time. So you started with small batch, obviously. What was the very first one you made?
Very first wine I made was a plum wine.
Okay.
Dad had some plum trees, and fortunately at that ag supply, we had a lot of truck farmers coming in on a Monday. They'd been out selling their fruit on. And so Monday they'd come in to get some supplies, fertilizer, whatever, and they'd always have that box of picked over overripe fruit.
Right.
Whether it be peaches, strawberries, anything. And we'd make wine out of it.
Nice. Okay.
And that went on for damn near 20 years.
Wow. Okay.
And just a hobby, but I'll tell you a story that the first wine I made in this building was 2016. It was a blackberry.
Okay.
It's the first things we got ready in the spring. And I just scaled up that old home recipe. And, I learned a lot. They now have some pretty good test machinery that we can test with, but back then it was strips and and I learned that we don't really need a acid blend, tartaric, malic, citric, whatever acid blend in the fruit wine around here, maybe up north, but not here. So I was making a very high acidic, high pH dry wine.
Okay.
which was terrible.
Yeah.
But all my uncles and aunts thought, oh, it's good, you know.
Yeah, because it doesn't hurt your feelings.
It was terrible. But I did test that batch because it wasn't 5 gallons. It was 150, and we fixed it. So
Awesome.
turned out all right.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's anytime you're doing it at a home level, you know, you don't have the very expensive equipment to test things out, and you're just going off what everybody else says. And, you know, and our family will always say, oh, it's amazing, but you give it to somebody else and they look at you and are like, what kind of slop are you trying to feed me here?
Right.
I have never lied to you like
You're right. That's exactly right.
Oh, man.
like your wine.
So how did you come into this property right here? What brought you here?
We were renting and, you know, moving around. And I was looking for a place that I could actually raise some goats on. And we ran across it and took the realtor sign down, hit it 2 or 3 times, and, you know, right or wrong, but we wanted it, you know. And we stole it. Actually, it had a lot of pine timber.
I mean,
So-
we don't know anything about stealing things around here. You know, we do all things legal, right?
So we sold the pine timber and basically paid for the place. So.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, you know, when we pulled in, right away, I was like, wow, this is a beautiful place. I mean, you come right into the driveway and you're literally driving right through the middle of I won't say in the middle, but you're driving through the vineyard a little bit,
Right.
you know? And I saw the vineyard on the left side. We were oohing and awing about the vineyard, like how great this will be during the springtime when it's all in bloom. And then I took a look to the right, and you got more coming up on the right side.
Yep.
So what do you get growing right now? And then what do you got coming up?
We have about 9 varieties. We started out with the Black Spanish or Lenoir, Blanc de Bois. We lost those in 2021 when it was Snowmageddon,
Yeah.
the -6 degrees. Replanted Arkansas varieties Indulgence and Dazzle in their place. And then we have Lomanto, Cayuga, Champanel. And then we planted 4 UC Davis varieties, Commoner Noir, Paciente Noir, and Embula.
Okay.
One other, but we have 9.
Okay. So what were those? So how long ago did you plant those? The UC Davis varietals?
Actually, they're taking a little longer than expected. We harvested 60 gallons of wine off. We don't weigh our grapes when we press, so I don't have a clue how many pounds. But we ended up with 60 gallons of Commoner Noir last year.
So
And-
probably 60 gallons. So it's like half a
16.
ton for.
Yeah, probably 900 pounds. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So the deer have given me purity hell on those, and
You know, I'm always hungry. I can come out here.
yeah, but we're getting them up to Cordon and Wire now, and we will have a decent harvest this year on
Nice.
those, and probably the Paciente Noir, which is mostly Zinfandel. Excited about that. The Embula is a little behind,
Okay.
and deer just love the white grapes.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of weird because, you know, a lot of places where they have a vineyard, they say the deer won't touch their grapes. And it's crazy that out here they're touching your grapes.
And not only eat mainly they don't normally get above, say, 3 foot, cordon. But as you plant a young vine, we never use grow tubes.
Right.
I can be careful when I spray,
Right.
I'm not that worried about it. So, but the deer, it does help with deer. And then we'd raise those tubes up once they came out the top, all the way to the cordon wire, which ours is 42 inches. So
Okay.
we finally got some vines.
Okay.
This year will be a pretty good year. We
Nice.
don't have a late freeze,
Nice. Well, I'm hoping we will have.
but deer will eat the grapes too. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting. Well, so you found this property. You decided to plant the vineyard. Okay, so my question for the part here is, did you plant like 1 acre first? How many acres you got first?
Well, the whole place, there's probably 8, right
Okay.
at 8 acres.
Did you do 1 acre right away, or did you do all 8 right away?
Well, we were in the nursery business, so as we knew we were getting out of it, as we sold out, say, 1 acre or half an acre, we would plant grapes on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, they already had trellis on for the nursery stock on the older section.
Right.
It was already there, so we planted those first. And then every year we'd add, I think we started planting in 2014.
Okay.
And we planted about 4 acres. And then every year a little more. And then, of course, we lost all our whites in 21, replanted. And then as UC Davis 3 years ago. So now we're full,
Okay.
Cross our fingers.
Excuse me. Well, how was that first year when you finally got your vines going and you got ready to, start pruning and start training? How was that very first year for you?
Well, I was already kind of a grower. The planting the grapes, the growing, the trellis wasn't any problem. Pruning was, you read all you can, and every area prunes different.
Right.
And I had some VSP and then the modified Watson Y-type trellis and found out that I liked the Y-type better. Mm-hmm. And the VSP was probably great, but it didn't work for me.
Right.
I hate pruning the vines off of that in the winter. So we did away with that and put it all in Y.
Okay.
And, I had a little help. There was a lady doing some little bit of consulting, came out. It's hard to just grab a pair of pruning shears and first time ever.
Yep.
And get after it.
Yeah, it definitely is. I know the first time I worked in a vineyard and they said, okay, here's how you prune. And they were showing me how to prune. And I'm like, okay, I have questions. And they're like, okay, well, hold them, prune, and then come back and ask questions. But it's funny when they show you and you start going at it, it's almost like natural reaction, I guess.
It becomes that way.
You just like, okay, I understand what I got to prune now,
You can stare at it long enough, you can kill a lot of time.
Oh, yeah.
Every spur cluster is different.
Yep. But, it's funny is the vineyard that I worked at for a whole year, just to understand a vineyard, because being a winemaker, you need to know what's going on in the vineyard as well. You need to know how they do the vineyards. You need to know how they do the pruning. You need to know how they're spraying. You need to do everything.
Right.
And this one vineyard, the vineyard manager, I think her name was Amy at RK. She's a very short woman, and their vines they have on the trellis was like 6 foot, and she couldn't reach the top. So I was always the one working those rows. Yep. So I call them the redheaded stepchilds because I'm always stuffing the vines on the top row, right. and they've still whacked me in the face every time, never fails, But it was always fun. It was always comforting to sit and work in a vineyard, and learning how to prune that very first time was definitely interesting. But as you got going, you start to understand what you're doing.
Yeah, and we spur prune everything, and then we're probably a little hard on a little over prune a little bit, but I'm more after quality of fruit. I'm not selling my fruit.
Right.
And so I'm not after tonnage.
Right.
So we keep them pretty thin.
Okay. Yeah, and that's respectable because you really have quality over quantity. Because, there are some, vineyards out there that want quantity over quality.
See it a lot.
And you can't, there's a fine line to walk there. You can get quality and quantity, but man, you got to be walking that very thin line, that very, very thin line. And it's hard to do. There are some vineyards that'll do that, but man, it's a hard line to walk.
It is. And we have customers actually come harvest. We have sign-up sheets. We don't charge anything. Mm-hmm. We have done a few T-shirts, and we do a harvest dinner on the house and enjoy the hell out of it. But I've been places to pick grapes up that you couldn't pay me to harvest because they were after tonnage.
Yep.
My gosh.
Yep. I've seen some. I've gone to Ready Vineyards and I've hand harvest grapes up there, and I'm like, this is a lot of fruit out here. Yeah. This is a lot of fruit. And if you ever get a chance, just get the awness of it. Look at Ready Vineyards on Google Maps and look at the satellite view of it, and just looking at it, it's just in awe. And you're like, okay, I see why they're doing this now.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this winemaking then as a hobby since you was how old again?
my wife was in the hospital giving birth to our youngest. So 26 years.
Okay.
I went and got a book on how to make beer.
Now you realize this is wine, not beer, right?
I know.
Okay, I'm just checking.
The Joy of Home Brewing by Charlie Papazian. And we started brewing. And we did that a few years. My friends would come over after working for 3 or 4 weeks to get this batch ready, and they drink it all.
Okay.
And I thought, let's start doing some wine. They don't like wine. So we can actually keep part of it. Anyway, so that's where it started.
Well, what's funny is I actually started making wine
First,
and now I'm actually fixing to start making. I actually started making ale in December, and when this airs, finally, it's going to be 5 weeks down the road. But on Super Bowl weekend of 2026, we're doing 4 different ales in one day.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's going to be fun.
We won't be visiting you for a while because the guest room will be busy.
Yes.
My production room in my house, my production room is also my guest room.
Well, our dining room was where my 13 carboys were at one time. And my wife was mad about Thanksgiving.
Yeah. All right, let's
raise the mood, man.
Okay, just so you know, we're unmuted now.
All right.
I got to mark this time. So.
I didn't know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't make Oh, holy cow.
I mean, I hate that it happened.
We spent the money.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. All right.
I bet y'all didn't laugh as hard as the other place.
No, I mean, I did. Okay. All right, so with you had your carboys on the table, I bet you had problem. Your wife didn't enjoy not having family over, but I bet you enjoyed not having the family over because you didn't have the tables.
Oh, I've got some great family actually, and actually pretty small now.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, we just I'd have to move all the full cases to the back bedroom.
Wow.
Behind them. So there was about 200 cases.
Wow.
But anyway, we moved it out here.
Wow. It's wow. Now I'm just completely sorry, folks. I'll just kind of give a quick update what happened. We just had a little incident that was humorous, and so they kind of derailed everything for just a moment.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into details, and thank God we didn't do video on this episode.
No wine was harmed in the incident.
Yeah, no wine was harmed. So, of all the wines that you get, so how many wines do you actually have right now? So between all your sweet wines and your dry wines, what do you and your ciders also?
There's 15, I believe now. 16 on the counter and 2 ciders and 1 mead.
Okay.
And then we have 3 other flavors in the kegerator, but we'll switch out. One of these is empty. We'll switch to a new one. Okay.
So what would you consider your flagship wine or cider or mead?
Well, the mead, no. I mean, I like it, but it's too sweet for me. I like the blood orange as far as cider, and black cherry is also popular. As far as the wines, Cab Franc, Syrah, Lomanto, and then, of course, the sweets always sell. Hell, I hadn't tried one over a year. I can't. Too sweet for me, but.
So do you ever release a seasonal wine? I mean, I know a lot of wineries will release a seasonal white and a seasonal red just to go with the dinners.
Not really. We're just now getting to the point where we've started to make a few smaller batches of special for wine club members. Okay. Which we hadn't got started. Okay. Takes a while to make some wine. Right. And get it ready. So we are doing some barrel aged stuff, some small batch blends and stuff like that. Okay. So,
how long I think I missed this part. How long have you been open now?
We opened in 2017. Okay. This tasting room,
almost 10 years now.
April 20th, actually.
Wow. So did y'all do a big event for your anniversary?
We did. Did we do one, babe?
One year I think we did. We usually do a bigger event. It's usually for our harvesters when we celebrate them. That's our big event.
And Valentine's dinner.
And Valentine's. But we usually celebrate real big for our harvesters and everybody that helps us through that season. And that's when he does a real big dinner for them. themselves, and they have special drinks, and all gets feed together, just them.
Okay.
It's usually about 60 people.
Wow.
Cook 2 briskets. Wife does potato salad, and mother-in-law do the baked beans, and
Okay.
local baker does the bread. I'm not doing that. But
Okay. So this is pretty well kind of like almost a family ran thing with a few little drops in the middle of it somewhere.
Actually, it is.
Awesome. But, I really appreciate the fact that, a lot of wineries are mom and pop. They bring in the family into doing it, and then they start bringing in people in, and it kind of weaves into each other, and they become family, and that's what it's all about when you do these small wineries is bringing the people in, make closeness out of it, and then you get your guests that come in and drink the wine, and they become family also. Yeah. And the next thing you know, they're doing what you're saying, helping you in the vineyard and stuff. And possibly every once in a while helping you in the production room when you need that little extra help.
Oh, yeah, help bottled. We had 2 customers the other day come help bottled.
Yeah.
And press. We had friends stay for a week or so and help press.
They really like to see the process.
Yeah.
And it makes them understand a little bit more of what's going into that bottle of wine that they had not thought that about.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So the more they see the process and the different things, they like to see that.
For somebody who doesn't want to talk, sure are talking a lot.
You want to try to break this chair?
No. Well, I'm hoping that'll pick up on the microphone. I got it turned up a little hot, so hopefully I'll pick you up in the background. So I may have to kick your volume up just a little bit, when I edit this. So, what is your favorite thing about winemaking process? What is what is the one thing that you always enjoy doing? Me personally, when I do the winemaking process, it's actually the crushing and distilling. That's my favorite. Now, cleaning is not my favorite part.
I like, to be honest with you, my favorite part is people seeing the smiles on people's faces on Friday and Saturday. But other than that, probably sampling different oaks. Rarely switch a yeast once you find something that works. I'm nervous to try something different, But
Yeah.
We keep records every year. We'll tweak oaks, and play with that. And a new company we're dealing with now is really cool. That without, we can go into that if you like. But
go ahead.
Well, they'll send you samples of little bag of either heavy toast, medium toast, American French, whatever you get. What's cool about it is you can get a 8-ounce sample of wine, young wine, put the charted, specified to whatever you want, meals in this glass of wine and swish it around and let it set about 5 minutes, and that's what it's going to taste like a year from now.
Okay.
And so you don't have to really wait and see, or I'll put a stick in a bottle and let it sit 4 months.
Right.
It's kind of cool. And they've got some real quality product.
Okay.
And I hope you don't ask me the name. It's a French.
No, you're good. Well, so there's a gentleman over in North Texas. They call him the mad scientist, and he does not oak anything. Everything's in stainless steel. And the first time we sat in his tasting room, I'm sitting there talking to Michael Cook from Edom.
Yeah.
And I happen to look over and I see him take a glass of wine and drop a oak ball into it. And I didn't know it was an oak ball. I thought it was a cherry. And I'm like, why is this man throwing a freaking candied cherry in this person's wine?
Yeah.
And then I saw him fish it out later on. And come to find out, because he doesn't oak anything, some people think it needs a little bit more flavor on it. And he will drop an oak ball into it and swirl it around, pull it back out, and then drink it, and it gives them that oak flavor that you normally would get in a barrel. Yeah. And I'm like, that's pretty smart. I would have never thought about doing that. Then it goes to the next question I will have after that is, does he wash that oak ball off? Does he put it into a sander and sand it off to get that layer of wine off there so you can use it again? And I never asked about that because, the more that I talked about it, the more I was like, okay, There's just these questions I have now that's burning,
Yeah.
But I like that idea of taking oak and dropping it in there for like 4 or 5 minutes and seeing what it tastes like.
Yeah.
And I never thought about doing that.
It's a pretty cool company. And we put staves in all our, not all our wines, but what we do oak, we do staves intake.
Okay.
I do no barrel other than occasional whiskey barrel aged or something.
Okay. So
And do some cubes too, and do some powdered tannins at the end. If it's not enough, we can tweak it one way or another, get that particular profile we're after. But
okay.
Anyway.
Okay. So, we talked about, what was your, what did I call it? What was the word I actually used? Oh, your flagship. But of all the wines that you have, what one wine is your favorite that you go to every time?
Lomanto.
Lomanto?
Yeah.
Okay. And you get that from around here in East Texas, or is it?
Yes, it's an Old Munson variety.
Oh, okay.
And we got our initial vines from Chris Lloyd, I believe, True Vine Vineyards out south of town, south of Tyler. And then, of course, their own roots, so we did cuttings.
Okay.
Kept adding. But
Nice.
yeah, it's to me, I'm excited about the UC Davis varieties. Don't get me wrong. But we get Pierces. We can't grow. If you plant them, they're going to start dying.
Yeah.
It may be 3 years, maybe 4. But this grape is really, really cool, and I'm excited about it. And I'll let you taste the 21 here in a little bit.
Okay.
You'll see what I'm making.
Okay. I'm excited about that. It's awesome to sit here and hearing your story and look what you have out here. And knowing that you already have defeat already in front of you and you press through anyway, because, everybody knows that here in East Texas, Pierce disease and phylloxera runs rampant out here. But the fact of it is, anybody who actually has a vineyard out here in East Texas already know they have defeat in front of them, but they still persevere through that. And they get the right rootstock, they get the right vines growing out here. Black Spanish and Blanc de Blanc grows great out here. I actually found out the other day that Blanc de Blanc was actually made in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I did find out that Texas is the biggest exporter of Blanc de Blanc.
Yeah.
So you got to be proud about that.
Yeah, we lost our vines in 21. It got -6.
Yeah.
And that's when I found out Blanc would hold down to about 10 degrees.
Okay. Wow. Yeah,
We had 11 inches of snow, and from 11 inches up, the vine split in half.
oh, man, I bet that was heartbreaking.
Well, it'd been better if we'd had 4 foot of snow.
Right.
Would have lost it.
That's really nice.
But that we found these Arkansas varieties, Indulgence and Dazzle, and I like them.
Right.
Everybody has Blanc. Not everybody has Indulgence and Dazzle.
Right.
So
Nice. I can't wait to try those when they come up for you.
yeah, we've actually got them on the counter. Indulgence is, correct me if I'm wrong here, it's Saval Blanc and and Dazzle's Gerstraminer and Melody cross.
Oh.
So it's pretty neat.
I'll definitely try that out. It'd be interesting to try because, girls are meaner. Girls are meaner.
Most of them. That one is.
He got it.
It's smarter too.
Everybody always sees that their Gewürztraminer are always very sweet.
Yeah.
And every one that I've tried has been sweet. And I've tried a couple here and there that was a dry Gewürztraminer.
Right.
And I was kind of shocked by that because I wasn't expecting it. And, it's definitely a different varietal that you don't find here in Texas very often.
Yeah.
So definitely interested to try that here in a little bit. So what has been the biggest challenge outside of the growing the vineyards or losing your vines? What's been your biggest challenge that you've overcome and you turn around and looked and said, you know what, I really hated going through that, but I'm glad I did that?
Well, yeah, that was tough. As farmers, really, you're going to lose a crop occasionally to a late freeze or predator, disease pressure, whatever. But that Snowmageddon we lost vines.
Right.
I lost half my vineyard. And things were 2-inch caliper at the bottom. They're 7 years old.
Oh, man.
To lose a vine you've cared for and touched many times a year for several years, it's pretty tough. It's like losing a wife.
Or a child.
But, probably the most frustrating thing, though, is the critters. You know, we can put bird netting on it. It helps with the deer. It helps a lot with the birds. It doesn't do anything for coons, squirrels, possums, foxes, and I could go on. You know, it's just you plant a lot more than you actually need.
Right.
Is what it amounts to.
I'm trying to think who it was that I was talking to. We were talking about the coons, and they were coming to the vineyards, and they were actually crawling into the nettings and laying inside the nettings like a hammock.
Yep.
So I joked about it. I said it's like raccoons laying in a hammock. And then lay there.
Time to get some coon dogs out here.
I've caught several.
Oh man. Oh. Well, you know.
Fortunately, they don't taste good.
That chili that one time.
Coon chili.
Coon chili. I don't want to. No, we're not even going to talk about that. Well, you know, it's been a great conversation with you here, and I love this conversation with you. Is there anything else that you want to talk about that we haven't hit? What's been your pride success?
Just like I say, just people coming back and making friends and visiting on the weekends. And of course, we love making wine, and every phase of it is fun to me. And there's been very few boo-boos. And even the boo-boos didn't turn out too bad. Wine is pretty forgiving. Thank God vines are pretty forgiving too, you know. And they're wonderful employees we have.
Yeah, go ahead and get that part in there.
One. Yeah. The one and only. Anyway, you know, I like cooking. And it's not so different than making wine. And you just like making people happy.
Right.
And seeing a smile on people's face.
Yeah.
That's where I get my kicks.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot to learn about wine.
Yeah.
And food, for that matter. But it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, you know, wine is one of those things that I was talking to somebody, and they said they asked an older winemaker, and they asked, well, how long have you been making wine? And he goes, well, I've been making wine for 43 years. And he was like, well, how many have you done in that time? And he goes, 43. And he was like, well, what do you mean 43? And he said, well, you only get one time a year to make wine, and you have to make it good that year, because if not, it's bad, and you got to dump it, and then you got to start all over again, and you have to wait till the next year to do it again. So it's one of those things that it's either you do it right or you do it wrong. There is no in between. It's okay. It won't be the first time that's happened on here. But you know, it's one of those things that you can do it, and you learn from it, and you process the next year, and you get better. So yeah. So where can people, our listeners, find y'all at online?
GreenGoatWinery.com. Thank you.
And
Facebook. Amber does the Facebook.
And
I'm
Instagram.
computer illiterate.
And then
I will answer my phone if anybody wants to call. But
and then what about the physical location? Where are you located at?
it's it's Edom, Texas, but it's a Chandler address actually out here. 11384 FM 279 Chandler, but we're online.
Awesome.
Local wineries and a lot of other good wineries around here too. So
Yeah, and I know, aren't y'all in the Piney Woods Festival?
We're right below the Piney Woods. We will be on that next year whenever they update the map.
Well, you know, so we're in the North Texas area.
Right.
And one of the wineries that just recently joined the North Texas is not even technically in North Texas.
Exactly.
They're in West Texas.
Exactly.
So Piney Woods does theirs every 2 years. They update their map every 2 years.
Okay.
So we were not going to join until the year they make the map, because why would I be in it?
Right.
So
That's fair.
But everyone on the Piney Woods trails does send them here.
That's good.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I love about the Texas wine industry is everybody is supporting everybody. Yeah, it's what we call we've coined a new phrase. It's called cooperation. You co-op with each other, but you're still in competition.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, you do.
Yeah.
You do.
Yep.
And there's enough. There's not that many. It's not like Fredericksburg. Thank goodness. I mean, but if we had millions of people coming every year, it wouldn't matter.
Right. Well, I love Fredericksburg, and people go down there. But I tell them, I said, you know what? There's some really good wineries that you could literally come to East Texas for, and you could the East Texas wineries are, you got to drive 20 or 30 minutes to get to a winery.
Yeah.
But when you that's a short drive. I mean, I know from their house, any of the wineries we want to go to is a minimum of 30-minute drive up to an hour and a half drive.
Yeah.
So but I tell people when you go into a new region, go and do some wines in that area because you'll be surprised what you're going to find and taste.
And I've told people this too. If you go to one and you don't care for a lot of their wines, go back in a few years because they've probably got a new winemaker.
Different grapes.
Seriously, and their wines will change.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And not in just winemaker, but also grapes change every year.
Oh, true. Yeah.
You may get a set of grapes this year that should have been a good stuff. It may not came out really good, but some people will like it. Other people won't. Go back and try it again. They may find something that's amazing. Yeah. Rip, I really appreciate you sitting down and chatting with us here and stuff. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a small little break. And then we're going to come back. We're going to do a little bit of wine education. Then we're going to do wine quotes that I forgot to do last episode.
All right.
So we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Eric Beyer of Old Vine, Texas, your premier Texas wine tasting room in DFW, featuring 100% Texas wineries from all over the state. We are located at 403 East Broad Street in Mansfield, Texas, inside of the Ancora Event Center. We have weekly tastings, charcuterie, pizza, plenty of wines by the glass, and live music. Our wine club brings you an extended taste of Texas and other great perks. You can visit our website at oldvinetexas.com to sign up for our newsletter, check our open hours, and see special events and classes and more. Or you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Vine, Texas. We'll see you soon.
Welcome everybody back to We Know Texas Vino. We are here at Green Goat Winery with Rip, and we just took a nice little break, and he gave us a little tour of his production room. We tried different stuff that he's got coming up, and I'm just going to say his Lomantos that he's got here, he's got several different vintages of it. Y'all need to come out here and do that. I hope I've encouraged him to do an elevated tasting of this because he's got some really good Lomanto out here. In fact, he actually let us try his 25 that is it had movie popcorn flavor on it, and I really enjoyed it. So y'all need to come out here and encourage him to do an elevated taste of his Lomanto. Hopefully,
He also has one that tastes chocolate, so you get your chocolate from your movies and your butter from your movies. So hey,
yeah, there you go.
Yep. So this is the part about wine education part, because a lot of people want to understand more about wine and the complexity of it, and I try to keep it very simple and easy. So one of the things you've talked about a lot is about the wood that you're actually putting into it. So, I noticed one thing you don't have is a lot of barrels, but you're using a lot of staves. So there's a lot of benefits of using staves. So let's talk about how the wood changes the way the wine tastes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we tried barrels at first, and very expensive, which, that part doesn't necessarily bother me. The problem is where they have to come from.
Mm-hmm.
Freight is outlandish, especially out of California, and we have no coopers around here.
Right.
So we're either going to tote them back to Missouri or we're going to tote them to California. Oh, hell, So we put our oak in our tank and start out with staves and getting better at that as time goes on, trying different combinations. And, you find something that works, you stick with it. We'll do some Hungarian cubes if we want to add a little vanilla. We'll have some chips if we want to use, but it's pretty rare nowadays. and some finishing tannins that we'll add. Try to stay away from any liquid,
Right.
fake tasting.
Yeah. And I think for me personally, my personal opinion, and everybody's opinion is different when it comes to winemaking and using, barrels versus staves versus liquid. I think when you do it as a liquid format, it's not true form. It's not natural.
Yeah, right.
Staves is natural because it's coming from the tree. Obviously, the way you really want to go is barrel ways. But sometimes barrel is not where you want to go because you don't want the wine to be completely encompassed. Sometimes you just need to throw 2 or 3 staves in it just to add that little bit of flavor to it. And I've seen a lot of people doing that. And in fact, actually, the last conference we went to, I was actually kind of shocked by what I saw was this. It was a stainless steel barrel, and inside of it, they had staves. And they had a little handle on it. They rotated the staves inside the wine, almost kind of like stirring it up. And I'm like, that's pretty ingenious because you're still introducing the wine to the wood, but you're not doing it in a large format. And I really enjoyed that.
He always joked his fan, instead of putting his wine in the barrels, we put barrels into the wine.
Yes.
And then he's able to control how long they're oaked and whatnot. He can take it out of there, and then he still has it in it.
Yep. So it's amazing how wood affects wine and how you apply it versus how it's done. So, yeah.
Now, I'll be first to admit, there's nothing more nostalgic and beauty as a barrel room and the smells. Don't get me wrong. It's just not feasible where we're at. Where we're at. And room.
Yeah. And that's 100% on everything around the board is, you got to look at your room, you got to look at the resources. And then if it's none of that's feasible, you got to do the next best thing.
Yeah.
So
You keep your price of your wine down.
No $60 a bottle here. I mean, I wish I had some.
Well, I mean,
I wish I had some that was worth $60.
That's only if it's in a double bottle.
Yeah, it's
It's
not.
$3.75 a skinny bottle, and they're real pricey. So we just did ours in a regular $7.50, and you just pay a little more for it, but it's not very good to be
The original label, no front and back. So the thing wrapped around and overlapped on a half bottle.
Yeah.
And I thought, just put it in a big bottle.
Yeah, we haven't had a problem filling it though.
No.
Just about right.
I do notice I'm sitting here with your Bo Peep. Is this the original cork that came out of this bottle?
Yeah.
You see the wine crystals on it, right?
Yeah.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign. So, well, Rip, I really appreciate you letting us come and sit down and have a chat with you and kind of understanding your wines and drinking some of your wines and just having a good time. Hopefully there won't be another accident anytime soon.
Hope not. That was freaky, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Freaky, yeah.
Well, before we end the show, I'm going to hit my sponsors right quick. So one of my big sponsors is Texas Wine Lover. Been a great sponsor of the show. Everybody's listed on it. If you are in Texas and you're in the wine industry, you've got a G permit. They've got you listed on there. They can find you. It's a great way to find a winery in the areas, from the wines you want to drink to the foods to places to stay. It's just a really great app. And I tell everybody that if you're going to go venture into an area, use this app and you can find what you're looking for.
Yep.
And then another sponsor I've got is Old Vine Texas. And they're in Mansfield, Texas. And they bring in hill country wines to the people in North Texas who don't want to drive the 4 hours to the hill country to drink wines. And they can literally go 45 minutes from any part of Dallas-Fort Worth and go to Old Vine and actually drink some good hill country wines. Yeah, it's a wine bar. And he does a great job of curating some of the stuff there. And every time I walk in there, I spend money that I shouldn't be spending. And I'm holding my head down in shame. Oh, no, they've grown. Mansfield has grown.
Mansfield is so pretty. So that,
I was going to say, it used to be real pretty out
Yeah,
there.
it has grown over there.
It wasn't completely just, I don't know, like, just like with everything.
Yeah.
So it was still, it had nice properties out there.
Yeah. So, well, we're going to, as we end this show, we're always in with wine quotes, and I missed it last time. So this time we're going to get some of the wine quotes in. So the first one is, the stars at night are not the only thing shining in Texas. Check your glass. I like that one. And then also on top of, we're going to add to that right there also. We're going to say big skies, big flavor. That is Texas wine for you there.
amen.
That is Texas wine. So, well, this is Will.
This is Rip.
And this is We Know Texas Vino. Cheers.
Cheers.